Hey, what's up guys? We're back again to break down some of the best decks to upgrade in Clash Royale. I'm going to be showcasing one of the strongest free-to-play decks in the entire game. Even if your opponent has champions and overpowered cards, this card composition will break through all of your opponent's defenses. And I'm going to be showcasing the highest skill deck in the game. If you want to outplay your opponents and showcase your skill in Clash Royale, this is the best deck to do it. I got 12 win grand challenges with both of the decks, and they're awesome decks to pick up and play. If you want to see more games on either of the decks, check out the pinned comment for a full video on both of them. Both decks are well worth upgrading. One will upgrade your skill and the other one will upgrade your chances of winning even if you don't spend a lot of money. Let's get right into the action and assert dominance. We got a game here. We're gonna go in for a lumberjack at the start. This guy's already gonna go and spam us with the skeleton barrel, so it could be a Mega Knight deck. Oh wait, what? Tombstone with skeleton barrel? I don't think I've ever played against a deck like this before. Usually it's a super aggressive clone deck, or it's a Mega Knight deck when you see skeleton barrel plus anything else, right? Like, I've never seen Tombstone with a skeleton barrel before. Could it be a weird graveyard deck? Could it be a weird clone deck that actually uses defensive cards? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. So I'm going to go in for a Ice Spirit and back, and then I'm going to go in for a Princess here. You should be able to congratulate that Skeleton King on a premature death with our Lumberjack. I don't think he's going to click the ability. It just wouldn't make sense. Jeez, you know what? I think it's going to be a minor balloon Skeleton Barrel deck. That's what he's going to be doing. He's going to do the B-Rad cheesy strategy of Speedy Balloon. So we're going to go and take our balloon to the moon and soar to the skies, hopefully being able to lock onto his tower here if we're lucky. So, I mean, I guess I could snowball here. I don't know if it's going to get a shot, but I hope it does. I think it does. Oh, no! Wow, that projectile fired a lot faster than I thought. I totally thought we were fine there. Anyway, I can go for an Ice Spirit, go and activate King Tower against the Firecracker, Barbarian Barrel to finish off the skeletons, and only take one Firecracker hit to the face. No, nothing? Seriously? So the Firecracker shoots when it's not supposed to, and then it shoots in situations that you wouldn't expect, and then fails in situations you would expect it to give you value, right? So I don't understand how he got no value with that Firecracker there. Gave me a free King Tower activation, but somehow was able to shut down my balloon shot that was directly on the tower. It's crazy, man. It's wild how that works in Clash Royale. Anyway, we noticed that he doesn't have great answers besides, you know, Ice Wizard, so I'm going to go in for the balloon immediately. Try to go and finish off the tombstone so then we can get that raged up balloon on the tower optimally. Oh, right outside of the radius, man. That's ridiculous. He's going to have Tornado, he's going to have Ice Wizard, and he's going to have Firecracker with Tombstone. So definitely not a matchup that I enjoy, but it's something that I can work with, you know? Maybe I can win this game if I play really well. We're going for another Barbarian Barrel here. Please lose the Firecracker again. Nope, it's going to shoot my tower this time. All right, we can go for Princess with the river. So if we can't break through with the Lumberjack Balloon, we can always go for a Princess and force out some elixir there. So he just used his log. You know what? What if I go Goblins, finish off your Tombstone with the Goblins, and then be real green and mean, and hopefully allow our Princess to lock onto your tower, hitting the Ice Wizard too. That's all we want right now. We want a miracle with the Ice Wizard out of cycle. No, the Ice Wizard's going to stay in cycle. It's going to stay on the tower. Oh my goodness. If you guys didn't know this, you can go in for the Ice Spirit, and then you're able to stop the Skeleton King from finishing off the Ice Spirit because the Ice Spirit's got so much health that the Skeleton King can't finish it off. So that's a huge interaction that a lot of people don't know. Skeleton King cannot finish off Ice Spirits, so you are able to go for an Ice Spirit directly in front of it and be completely okay. All right, so he's going to go for a log again. You know what? I go Lumberjack Balloon, and hopefully our Princess is able to finish off the Ice Wizard. I don't know. Maybe we can go in for a Snowball as well, just to kill the Ice Wizard a little bit faster, so then the Lumberjack's going to stay alive. We can go in for Bats here. Ice Spirit on top of the Skeleton King, as I said before, very important strategy. And he's going to Tornado everything back. That is not what we wanted to see. Dude, the balloon might be able to finish off the Firecracker with a Barb Barrel, but I don't know if I'm able to go for a Barb Barrel. Actually, I can. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to go in for a Snowball on top of the Skeleton Barrels, just so I can finish that off and make sure he doesn't get any damage. Maybe I go for a Balloon. This is actually a little bit aggressive, but I think I'm going to go for it, because Lumberjack is going to hit the tower. It's going to do some rage damage as well, and I like it. I do like the situation here. Forcing out a Tombstone, which is a -2 trade. I think that we're also able to get some extra value with the balloon damaging the tower, hopefully. Nah, it didn't happen. Can we go in for this, though? If I'm able to just keep the Firecracker away from my Princess, we might be okay. No, it died to a log! Dude, what is this guy doing? Why does he have the most defensive deck in the game with all these anti-air answers, especially like Ice Wizard Tornado with a Skeleton Barrel deck? I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. All right, we're going to go in for Goblins again just to go and protect the Princess optimally, and then we can go in for Barbarian Barrel on top of the Skeleton Barrel again. Man, this game is really heating up right now. That cold Ice Wizard is really crushing our pushes, though. I'm going to go and stack up as many Princesses as I can, trying to space them out so he doesn't immediately get to log them. Then I'm going to go in for a Balloon. I mean, he's going to log. He's going to miss one of them, so that's good. So nice that we were able to space everything out. I'm going to go in for a Bats here, try to keep the balloon push alive, because if he goes in for one more skeleton barrel push, he's going to consistently get damage on my tower every time. especially with the miner. It's just annoying. I hate how much damage the miner does. Even after the nerf, it's absurd. We're going to go for 2 balloons on the tower on the left-hand side. We finally are able to get one to go and jump onto the tower with the bomb. And then I think we win this. I think slowly but surely, we might whittle this man down. If I just spam balloons and triple elixir, can he stop me? Like, genuinely, I'm just dropping balloons on the tower. That's all I can do. I'm just dropping balloons on the left-hand side, and there's nothing else. It's balloon spam city, baby. We can go in for another goblins on top of the miner, finish everything off with a barbarian barrel, and walk away with a pretty glorious win. So definitely a more difficult matchup. I can't believe I was able to win that. Incredibly intense game, and we come out victorious. GG and well played, man. Pleasure playing against you. Seems like a super sad sir after that one. Honestly, if you play a long match and you lose, it's a pretty bad feeling. So, dude, we're gonna give you a bit of love, and we'll bounce on next one. All right, we got a game against Molly. I really read this guy's name as Molt. I was like, dude, we got a game against Molt. No way, but it's not Molt. He's going to go in for nothing, so we're going to go for a Hog Rata, and we'll see what's happening. Maybe we can go for a Snowball, depending on what he drops. If he goes for a Mini P.E.K.K.A, we can bounce it back away from the Hog Rata using our Snowball. But I guess this guy is taking our tricks and doing it and doing one-up with the Mega Knight. Because the Mega Knight is able to go and bounce back our Hog Rata when we were planning on bouncing back whatever his counters to the Hog Rata were. I guess we got to go for a Goblin Gang here so then the Mega Knight doesn't jump. This is looking a little bit sketchy. Oh, never mind. No shot. We pulled the Mega Knight to the other side and it jumped on my tower there. And he whiffed his arrows? That was really wacky. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes when you play against Mega Knight players, they're going to play beyond aggressive. But because their card cycle will not allow them to get back to the Mega Knight before you back to the Hog Rider, you want to just go for the Hog Rider whenever you can. Huge value for me. 2 Hog Rider hits on the tower, slamming it in his face. We can go for a giant snowball here and fully counter the Electro Wizard if we did it correctly. Please, no hits. Let me do it correctly. Yo! All right, so if I was slightly better at the game, that would have been a perfect timing, and we wouldn't have taken any damage, but I am a failure. It's fine, though. We're going to go in for... Ooh, so if you guys noticed the miner placement, it was tanking for the wall breakers. So if I had logged the wall breakers, then the wall breakers would have still stayed alive because my other tower, my right-hand tower, was targeting on top of the miner instead of hitting his wall breakers. He dropped his miner in a really good spot. So he tried to be tricky, but I didn't fall for it. I wasn't going to overspend elixir for no reason. So we can go for a Hog Rider here. It's going to go and pull the Bandit, and it will probably force out a Mega Knight if I'm lucky. Dude, the Bandit is not going to give him much value at all, I think. Oh, no, it did end up getting some damage because I guess the Inferno Dragon was getting targeted by our tower in the left-hand side. So it does make sense when that happens. It's just not a vibe, you know? You wish that the Inferno Dragon would not get targeted and that we could focus on the Bandit and then fully finish it off with that awesome Hog Rider placement, but it didn't work out as planned. So we can go for a log on his tower. We can go in for a Royal Giant. He's probably going to go for a Mega Knight. His Inferno Dragon is not going to be back, right? So we can just go in for bats, go in for a Firecracker. He's going to get back to the Inferno Dragon now, but it's really late. And by now, we're back to Snowball. So we're balling on his tower, and our blasts are blasting him to the next game already. With 41 seconds remaining, if I'm able to defend this push, I will win the game. So let's see if I can do it. I'm going to go in for a log. I'm going to try to get the Barbarians in front of the Inferno Dragon, and it looks like we got this game completely on lock. Barbarians for 5 elixir have crazy tank value, lots of damage, and if your opponent doesn't have Fireball, they're not going to be able to break through them very effectively. He's going to try to go and slime his way through with Mega Knight, but it's not going to work. Look at these barbs, just locking and loading up this defense, and that Mega Knight got surrounded and pounded by the Barbarians. Incredibly easy game, and this Royal Giant Hog Rider deck absolutely rocks Royal Giant. We got a game against the most interesting name that you'll ever see. And hopefully he's not going to have Tornado. Okay, he's going to go in for a Skeleton Barrel first play. So I definitely do want to go in for a Snowball so we can finish off all of the Skeletons that are about to pop. I think I can go for a Goblin Gang last second so none of the Goblins get hit until they absolutely need to. And he's going to have Log Bait. Let's go. This is going to be a very fun matchup for us because we have so many ways of countering all the bait cards. And I have a lot of surprises for him too. Like the Firecracker that's about to one-tap his Princess. Pretty fun to do. One thing that you guys might or might not know is you want to wait for the Skeletons to pop so then you can go and drop your Ice Golem or Barbarians or Goblin Gang depending on what your deck is. So that's what I did. I didn't drop my Barbarians before the Skeleton Barrel popped because then it would displace my Barbarians and it would do some damage to the Barbs as well. So you always want to wait for the Skeleton Barrel to pop and then drop your units in the middle of the Skeletons so the Skeletons go and target that. We're able to go for a Snowball here. I don't think I'm going to take too much damage. I want to go for a Hog Rider as well. I could have dropped the bats directly down the middle. I really should have. Slight mishap on our end. But we're going to try to go in for that Hog Rider as quickly as we can. And he's got E-barbs with Goblin Barrel. What the heck am I playing against? So he might go for a princess on top of the goblin gang. I'm just going to drop my goblin gang last possible second. I kind of expected that to happen. That's what good players do. They make predictions on top of your bait cards. Fortunately for us, we were able to finish off the princess, and we had our log geared up and ready. I knew what he was going to do because that's what good players do. So his royal giant counters are probably going to be very limited. He'll go in for goblins most likely. So if we can go for a firecracker to disintegrate the skeleton barrel, and then we go in for a royal giant with our firecracker, this could work out pretty well. Because he's going to have to go goblins. He's not going to be back to E-barbs immediately. Yeah, let's go. I knew he was going to drop goblins because he didn't have E-barbs in cycle. Now he has E-barbs in cycle, but he doesn't have enough elixir. So what is he going to do? He's just going to lose his tower. That's how this deck works. You get your opponents in compromising positions, and if they don't have a building, even if, you know, they're at 10 or 11 wins in a grand challenge, it doesn't really matter. So what is he going to do? He's probably going to go princess, right? So we can go in for a hog rider here and maybe log on the princess if he tries to drop that on the spear goblins. If he drops it really far back, then we can't get it. I'm going to snowball because we know that the spear goblins are able to damage down the goblins anyway, and I want to slow down the tower so that maybe we can get some extra value. Okay, so this is a really cheeky play that not enough people do. You've got to go in for bats in the back in this type of situation, because if you do, what happens is they're not going to die to the skeleton. Oh, the firecracker. Wow, I underestimated the firecracker. She shot and killed the skeletons in one hit. That's insane. Sometimes firecracker can be one of the best cards in Clash Royale, and sometimes she's just simply the worst. Yeah, wow. The stark dichotomy in those two trades. Did you guys see that? She literally missed his Dark Goblin and then activated King Tower for our opponent. And before, what did she do? Well, she gave me the best value in Clash Royale, killing a skeleton barrel with one shot when all the skeletons were about to surround my tower, allowing me to spend way less elixir. That was pretty insane to see that. I think I need to go in for a log here. Wait, we're going to win with a hog rider, right? Or do we have to go in for a firecracker shot? Wait, this is really freaking close. I'm not super comfy with how this has been going. You can go in for a princess at the river, so I got to go bats. Dude, I'm definitely dead, actually. That's kind of crazy that I lost this. Oh, never mind, I won. Really ridiculous game. Back and forth throws the entire time. I'm glad that we were able to pick up the win against the. That puts us at 10 wins in the GC. All right, we got a game against someone from the Hakuna Matata clan. It's a wonderful day. Yo, immediately goes in for aggressive Golden Knight in the back. That's 4 elixir down the drain, and I think we're going to inflict some pain. So I can go for bats to finish off the Phoenix, and I think I can log on it as well to kill the egg to guarantee that he's not going to get huge counter push. We're going to go and do that now. We're going to drop our Goblin Gang slightly behind the Golden Knight. So if he goes on the Golden Knight dash on top of the Goblin Gang, notice that placement. He only hit one Goblin. For whatever reason, the Golden Knight only hits one thing. Whether it's a skeleton, a goblin, or whatever you drop in the back. Golden Knight just does not have good dashes. And that even happened before the Golden Knight nerf. Just by far the best placement if you're playing against an Electro Giant player with Golden Knight. I expect it to be an Electro Giant deck. So his cannon is going to be out of cycle. You know what? Oh, no! No, dude. I really wanted to go in for an aggressive firecracker and blast that bomber to oblivion. But I guess I'll take this as a consolation prize. I can go for a snowball and propel back his bomber so he doesn't get the damage. I could have alternatively went in for a log, but I think that's nicer. I like going in for the snowball because it's got a bit further of a blast radius, and if we blast the Phoenix closer to our tower, we guarantee that it's not going to revive by some miracle, because our tower was targeting the bomber, and the faster that our tower is able to hit that Phoenix egg, the less likely it is to revive. If it's really close to the river, and we're spending time focusing on the bomber, and it's super far away from our tower projectiles take a long time to travel, so we could have been in some risky business if he was able to keep that alive and it resurrected. Just don't want to deal with that. He's going to go in for a cannon here, and he's going to go in for a Phoenix and a bomber again. All right, what do we do? Do we go in for a firecracker? Yeah, I think we go for a firecracker every time. Last time he decided to go for tornado, so maybe we can go for some cheeky barbarians. Cheeky barbarians? No! Worst barbarians ever! Oh, that was awful. I don't know why I did that. I guess I'm really aggressive or something. I'm a wild child. So how do we win this game? Do I go in for like a Royal Giant on the right-hand side? I think that's our best bet. We can go Royal Giant, we can go bats. And he's not going to have good answers to this. If he goes in for a bomber, it's not going to give him the trade that he wants. Because he's going to have to drop like Phoenix as well, and that's exactly what's happening. Jeez, look at the elixir that he spent. And the Royal Giant is pummeling his tower. He's going to have to Electro Giant. He's just so uncomfortable about the situation that he's doing that. We're going to log on top of the bomber. He's going to go in for another bomber, though. Okay, if we firecracker in the back, he's not going to be able to tornado it in. If you guys didn't know this placement, the firecracker in the back, when it's behind the tower or any ranged unit that's behind the tower, it can't get pulled because it's going to go directly into the tower and it's going to get pulled into the tower instead of getting pulled towards the Electro Giant. So that's the placement that you want to do if you're running 3 Musketeers or Archer Queen or any of those ranged cards that you don't want to get like zapped by the Electro Giant shocks. All right, so we have the Spear Goblin surviving. Huge value for us to go for an easy Royal Giant. And the last possible second, go for Barbarians. Reason why I'm doing this is because I feel comfortable playing really aggressive and making sure that he doesn't have any elixir, so he can't go in for a Bomber. Also, when we get his building out of cycle, you guys already know the deal, we go for another Hog Rider. And then we follow up with Bats. Reason why we go Bats is if he goes Tornado, he can't go and pull it to the King Tower. He has to go and pull it backwards, which is kind of awkward for him. I'm going to go Golden Knight last second, or Goblin Gang to counter the Golden Knight last second. I don't think he was going to click the dash. Unfortunately, he didn't. All right, we can go for a Firecracker again, and then we can go for Barbarians. Man, this is going to be a longer game, right? Because he's going to have good defenses to us, probably. Wait, if he Tornadoes? I really wanted to Tornado this Firecracker. Freak out and Tornado the Firecracker. Realize that you don't need it on defense, please. Make a mistake. Okay, so we're going to go in for a Hog Rider and also a Royal Giant at the same time. I wonder if this is a good strat. He's probably Tornado this back. I don't think that the Bats are smart. Should Tornado that back. Yeah, he does. Okay, so the Firecrackers are staying alive. We can go Goblin Gang last second. Go and make sure the Golden Knight doesn't hit anything. Maybe he learned his lesson. Maybe he learned his lesson. Oh, he learned his lesson. That's unfortunate. All right, so we can log and then we can snowball. And if we do that, I think we can go and blast the Bomber to a different dimension. Meanwhile, the Royal Giant's locked and loaded on the tower. Oh my goodness. One more hit, one more hit, one more hit. That's it. That's what we needed. So he's just going to continue to spam me. That's totally fine. We can go in for a Hog Rider here to go and pull everything back. And then we can go for Bats and we can go for a log. And then I think we're fine. I just go in for one more Royal Giant, one more aggressive play, and we send this man in a wave of dismay. So Hog Rider is going to be able to go through because we just made sure his cannon was out of cycle. Guarantee that we can go for a snowball on top of the Bomber. Dude, this Hog Rider is about to inflict some serious pain. Let's go, baby. Beating Electro Giant because we got 2 win conditions. Even though he had Tornado and he had Cannon, it simply wasn't enough. Shows you the true power of this deck, even against decks that you would assume would counter me. Especially if you didn't know how to counter Golden Knight with Goblin Gang. All right, so this guy's not going to have a clan, but we have a plan. We're going to go for a Hog Rider and we're going to see what's happening. So I could go for a Snowball depending on what he decides to do. Ooh, yeah, Mini P.E.K.K.A. I would have loved to push the Mini P.E.K.K.A. away with my Snowball so the Hog Rider would have gotten exponentially more hits, but couldn't happen, you know, in recollection and retrospect. Great decision, but you don't always know what your opponent's going to do. Like, I had no clue he was going to randomly drop a freeze there, right? Like, geez, man, you're crazy. He froze on Bats. He's a really aggressive player. So I'm probably going to go for Barbarians on top of his Dark Goblin because I'll get a positive elixir trade overall, even though this interaction is not phenomenal for me. We know that, you know, the Dark Goblin is going to be 3 elixir, the Barbs are 5, and now we got another 5 out of him. So we got a +3 advantage from those Barbarians. And they might even melt the Inferno Tower and force out more elixir. You know what? It's even better than that. That was magical, but we're going to go in for our Royal Giant when our opponent doesn't have a building in cycle. I wonder what he's planning on doing. Oh my gosh, what if I like bounce back his units twice with a log and a snowball? That'd be pretty fun. I think in the later stages of the game I can do that. Right now I'm just going to go in for a log to go and finish off his stuff. I wasn't able to afford it a bit faster. And now we're able to blast this tower too with the Firecracker. This deck is so much better than I thought it would be. I love the fact that we were able to bait out the building, not even using one of our win conditions. So now we can go for double win conditions while the Inferno Tower is still out of cycle. This guy must feel like I'm a maniac. And I'm loving our vibes. Forcing out a freeze! That is the most desperate freeze I've ever seen in my life. Have you guys seen someone try to go in for a freeze on defense and try to cling on to a tower that was definitely dead? Guy had 50 HP and he just lost the tower there. He even arrowed afterward too. I feel like he is not having a good time in this game and it's definitely won. Incredibly fun game and the power of Royal Giant plus Hog Rider is simply too strong. My man needed 2 buildings and he didn't even have a single one in cycle. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more daily content, check out the pinned comment for more videos on both of the decks, and have an amazing rest of your day.